welcome back to Backstage Pass. This is a CPCA podcast. Welcome back. Super exciting. It's been a weird week for me. I don't know about you, Sarah. It's been super weird. Like, one thing I have class, and then we had wellness day, and then we were back in class. It's like going back and forth. I don't know how much of a fan I am of it quite yet. It's kind of weird, but yeah, it's another week, and we're making it through. Classes are going strong. I'm super excited for today's guest. I have never met our guest, but I'm super excited to learn more about him and his works. Today's guest is a junior here at Temple, majoring in FMA with a minor in content creation. He's the head of production for the student organization Temple Pilots and has worked on their episodes Strays, Upstaged, and Access Granted. And he has also participated in a handful of film projects such as Halloween 1987 and Cocoon. We are so excited to welcome Anthony Inzalaco. Anthony, how you doing, my man?
Doing great. How you guys doing? Thank you for having me.
I'm just rocking out. As always, I'd like to introduce Sarah. Sarah, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. That wellness day yesterday
Hit different. All right, so let's just get right into it. So, because you're a Temple student, we love to ask students all about their, lives at Temple, as well as many different things that they do. So first and foremost, because you're a junior, you've taken, I guess this would be your 6th semester. So that means you've had a lot of experiences in a lot of different classes. With all of the classes you've taken so far, which one has been your favorite and why?
That's a great question. I would probably say my favorite class I've taken so far has been production 2771, I believe, is the number for it. That class I took my sophomore year, and that class made me realize I want to be a producer specifically. So I guess that's probably my favorite class. It's what I enjoy the most. So yeah.
Okay, who was the professor for that class?
That was Professor Dudenbostel was the professor for that one.
That's a sick last name.
Yeah.
I don't know the professor, but that's a sweet last name. So I'm going to have to reach out to that professor and be like, what's up? I like your last name.
He's also he's a Temple alum, I believe.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Okay, yeah. Nice. So when you say production and producing in realm of film, and I'm mainly asking this because I have a music background, not a film background. Okay. So producing is a completely different term, I feel like, in music. So I'm curious, what exactly does producing entail for you as a film major?
So I actually am familiar with music producing too, but in film specifically, what it is, it's a lot of the logistical background stuff that goes into making everything happen. When you are looking at a set and everything, and you look at everyone from the actors to where you guys are to what they're wearing, all that stuff is kind of handled and collected by the producers, and kind of is kind of all that background pre-production stuff that brings it all together into one cohesive thing. It's really it's a great feeling when you watch it all come together, which is
Okay, so yeah, that's pretty different than what I was expecting it to be. But that's really cool. So you basically, as a producer on like a film set, you basically start all the way at the beginning of the, very beginning stages of the project up until it's finished pretty much.
Right. Especially at the stage that we're at now as college students. Producers are doing everything from really, we were working with the budget, I'm sure. So we worked on Upstage, which actually Sarah worked on with us. We did everything from the budget to getting the locations to securing all the artwork and whatnot for the walls of the location, for the set design. Anything that was needed for the production, we worked on getting that so we could have the best production possible through and through.
Very nice, very nice. That sounds like a lot of work. I'm assuming it is.
It is a lot of work, but like I said, watching it all come together and watching that first set day is a great payoff. And then when you finally hear everything wrap up and hear the director call wrap on the final day, it's the best feeling.
I can imagine. That sounds, just coming from a music background, wrapping up any kind of project is just a big relief almost, but it's it's well worth paid off, and so I totally get that feeling. That's awesome. That's really cool. Because you like being in the production side of film, I'm sure you get to decide in terms of locations or like sets of how you build them or where you want to build sets in that matter. So I'm curious if you could film anywhere on campus specifically, Temple University's campus, where would it be and why?
Anywhere on campus. Obviously, it's all project dependent, but I think one of the best places to shoot would be in Charles would be very like a very good space to shoot in. Just because that's not only new but and very modern, but has a lot of natural light and everything. There's a lot of room to work with. I think another really good space to shoot would probably be in Fox. Believe it or not, there's some areas in Fox that I've been in that have a good view of the city, and having that backdrop is always ideal.
Oh yeah.
Those are some of the better ones I can think of.
Okay, interesting. I've only been in Fox once, and which I feel like is a sin for being a Temple student.
No,
but,
it's not.
All right, cool, yeah. All right.
I've only been in Fox to go to the Saxby's that's in Fox.
I've been in there a good amount because even though I'm a film student, my freshman year, a lot of my friends are actually business students.
Okay.
So I've been in there plenty to like with them for, I don't know, either studying or just like going to go grab something or whatever. But no, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a sin.
So, with the amount of times you've been in Fox, how many times have you been to that like Saxby's?
Probably only a handful of times, to be honest with you.
Would you say that one is better than the one that's by 7-Eleven, or I think that's a good question.
I would agree. I've used that space
Definitely.
not only just to grab breakfast, but also I've had a couple of meetings there.
Okay.
I think that's a better space overall just to use.
Gotcha.
Very simple location too.
They also sell breakfast sandwiches at that location, but
Which
not
are
the
really
one.
not bad. I will give them
Yes.
they're
The
pretty
breakfast sandwiches, they hit sometimes.
good. They got nothing on Richie's though, I'll say that.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I was just about to say, but it can't compare to Richie's because I've
nothing
never
compared
had
to
a better breakfast sandwich than Richie's. Richie's has introduced me to so much. Oh my gosh.
I've never eaten at Richie's.
You're sorely mistaken.
That might be a sin.
That I would say that's a sin. You gotta have Richie's at least once as a Temple student.
Exactly. So I don't know what you're doing, Sarah, but get in your car and drive to Temple right now.
All right, bye guys. Gotta go.
Richie's. Yeah, I'll finish it up. You go. So speaking of actually the Saxby's near 7-Eleven, 7-Eleven is a big convenience store that is on Temple's campus and around Temple's campus, obviously because of the affiliation with Temple that 7-Eleven has. So it's just easy access. Do you have a favorite go-to snack, going maybe between classes and you want to pick something up from 7-Eleven, or just like you're just craving something and 7-Eleven has like everything? Mm-hmm. You walk inside, you look through, and you find the golden item. What is that golden item?
I would say probably my go-to is I'm a big Reese's guy, so like Reese's minis are a good go-to. I'll usually get that and get like an Arizona green tea. That's probably gonna be if I'm gonna run into 7-Eleven real quick. That's what I'm gonna be coming out with.
Yeah, 7-Eleven's really nice. I feel like I've gone into 7-Eleven for multiple different reasons, whether it's going between classes and just picking something up real quick, or if it's like really late at night and I'm at my place chilling, I'm just like, dang, I need like, I don't know, like a soda. I could just walk to 7-Eleven and it's there. Like, it's easy. It's super convenient, but yeah.
Between the one on Diamond, the one on campus, and the one on Cecil, it's pretty convenient. You can
it's very convenient for sure. Wait, Sarah, have I ever told the story about why 7-Eleven kind of stains
oh my God.
Memory in my
head? Are you talking
head?
about the pizza?
Yeah.
Ew.
That was gross.
Yes.
I'll just tell a brief story real quick. When I was in high school, I was in a rock band with a couple of friends, and we had a show in Arden, Pennsylvania, and right next to the venue was a 7-Eleven, and I went to go pick up an energy drink and like some sort of dinner, and I saw they had like pizza, like the cooked pizza that's like by the checkout counter. That's just, it looks like it's cooking in the what do you call it? In the incubator or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I look at the guy at the counter. I was like, hey, could I get a slice of pizza? And he just kind of goes, oh. And he goes and grabs the slice of pizza And he gives it, and then I see him like scanning things to check out, but he never like scanned the pizza or like put it in. So I asked him, "Hey, you forgot to scan the pizza," and he's like, "Oh no, this is free." And I had the audacity to ask, "Oh, why is that?" And he's like, "Because it's not fresh."
Oh man.
So, so you know, being a high schooler and not having a lot of money, I was like, "Well, free pizza's free pizza." So I ate it, and I swear to God, in the middle of performing my band set that night, I had a queasy stomach and I ended up blacking out for a good 10 seconds in the middle of our set. And I was like, whoa, what is going on? So from that point on, I don't trust 7-Eleven pizza. but everything else is great, you know?
Well, on that note, if you're gonna get pizza on campus, just stick to Maxie's. It's right next to the 7-Eleven.
Oh, I don't know. I would pick Philly style. That's a hot take.
Personal preference. That's a personal preference.
I don't know. I think that's a hot take. Yeah, no, I love Philly style.
Yeah, I'm from near New York, so New York style is where I'm gonna stay.
All right. You know, that's fair. I can respect that. So obviously on campus, you know, in what I like to call BC times, when we were actually able to walk around and, you know, not have to worry about a virus lingering over our heads,
right.
You know, you'd be able to go out and, you know, find a spot, maybe, you know, just anywhere on campus where you could study and just like be with friends and have a good time, especially when it was warmer weather out. Where was your favorite study spot on campus?
My favorite study spot, I would say, my freshman year specifically, I lived in Morgan, so my favorite study spot was in the Morgan lounges. But
yeah,
of late in like more sophomore year, I was at Tuttleman 4th floor a lot, believe it or not.
really?
Yeah, it's a small little area, but it has everything like from like actual tables you can sit at to like these more comfortable chairs where you can still kind of see this like the skyline of the city a little bit. It's like a very serene, not too crowded spot that I can get my work done.
I would have not have thought of that. Interesting.
I guess I just kind of blew it up. It was pretty under wraps and not a lot of people used it, but that's my favorite spot.
Well, boom, you just ruined it to our whole 5 viewers that watch the podcast. I might even go there, honestly. Dang, that sounds awesome. But when you said Morgan Hall, I totally agree. That's where I stayed my freshman year, thankfully, which was super dope. Their lounges were super convenient on each floor because I don't know about you and your experience, but for me, there was like no one that would go to the lounges.
We had a couple people that go to lounges, but it was always quiet. It was always like a nice study space.
Okay.
And it was also like a really good space to be like, if your roommates need to sleep or whatever, and you guys to like have those like late night like cram sessions or whatever, that's the spot to be.
Yeah, exactly. There are countless amounts of memories that I have in that lounge. Yep. Just literally, well, doing my work and then every now and then like people stalk because people would walk in and out, either stay, study, and then leave. Like I would be there for hours and people would go for like maybe 1 hour and then leave and then meet up with friends at the lounge and then leave. And it's like, so I'm not weird, I promise, but it was really easy to like pick up conversations that people were having. And some of the conversations were just absolutely bizarre, but it was like, it was a really nice space to study because, you know, you could, you didn't feel like you were like enclosed in like a room. You had a lot of surroundings. So like looking out the window and you could just see the city. Like that was really nice. Being able to talk to people if, you know, your friends decide to show up and study too, like having that nice little break from studying to talk is always really fun too.
Right.
So yeah, I totally get that. I don't know about.
It was also a nice connecting area because it's like you have like the floor the lounge is on. So like I was on the 7th floor, for instance. So it's like the 7th floor lounge, and then you have the 8th floor has the stairs down to the lounge. So like it was like you kind of got that mingling between the two floors a little bit, which you don't get otherwise.
Yeah. It's totally. Were you in North or South?
I was in South.
Oh, so was I. Funny enough.
Oh, really?
I was 3rd floor.
Okay, cool. Small world.
Yeah, I know, right? Our floor was
like,
so
oh,
dang
actually,
quiet.
You guys were roommates.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you. I'm your roommate. Yeah, no, our floor was super quiet.
Oh, ours was very loud.
Yeah, that's so funny because ours
actually
not
had
at
something
all.
to do with that. We had pretty and I apologize if anyone does see this. I was on my floors. my freshman year. We had loudspeakers and we got a couple noise complaints throughout the year, but
Nice.
very, very different, very different floors the way it sounds.
Very much. Ours was the quietest floor there. Here's the thing. I don't think I met my neighbors
Mm-hmm.
until about 3 weeks in. And then I didn't meet the people across the hall until about 6 months in. Like,
Oh,
no
wow.
one talked to each other. We tried doing the whole thing with, like, keeping your door open and having people just, like, walk in, say hello, whatever. But my room was one of 3 other rooms that actually did it. And no one walked in to say hey, except being a freshman was interesting because I came in as a very scrawny kid, like just very ungodly skinny, and same thing with my friend. And when we kept our doors open, 3 huge football players walked by our room, saw the door open, and looked in, made direct eye contact with us. And I was like, oh, that was interesting. They walked back into our room and were like, hey guys, what's up? And we were just like, hey, how you doing? Like, I felt like, I was like, they could literally squash me with their fingers if they wanted to. It was so funny. And we had never seen them ever again. That was the only time. They were like, yeah, you mind if we come chill here every now and then? I was like, yeah, sure. Do whatever you want. And they're like, all right, cool. We're going to go study now. See you later. And I was like, see ya. Never saw them again. I don't know where those guys are at now, but
Maybe they're in the NFL. Oh my God.
Maybe they're chilling in my old Morgan dorm waiting for us to come back. Oh my gosh, Morgan was a trip. But yes, I totally agree with your study spots. That's super cool. With all the Temple experience that you have, and speaking of, just different memories that you might have had, what's your favorite memory of being at Temple so far?
Oh, you're gonna make me rack my brain for that one. I've had a lot. One of my favorite memories probably was actually my freshman year. So my birthday falls right around finals of the fall semester. It's in mid-December.
Okay.
So that freshman year, everyone was starting for finals. It was a Friday night. And like, my friends like, oh, let's have some people over, like let's hang out, like celebrate your birthday. I was like, all right, cool. Like, I don't really want to do anything. They're like, all right, fine. We'll keep it low key. Only invite a couple people. So 2 of my friends came from another dorm. I went downstairs to go get them, and I walked back into my room, and all my friends are standing around the table from our hall. Our hall was very close because unlike like how yours went, we kept our door open because we were right next to the elevator, and we actually made a lot of friends that way.
Oh, gotcha.
So if you live near the elevator in any dorm, I highly recommend keeping your door open, especially in like those first couple weeks because you meet a lot of people. But all my friends were there. They collected them in a matter of like 2 or 3 minutes somehow. And they had like a cake for me and everything. They ended up caking me like in the face with it, which is very funny. But that was one of like the more like unexpected, very wholesome moments that I had with my friends that is kind of stuck with me since freshman year.
That's awesome. That's sweet.
That's so fun.
Oh my gosh. I never did that for any of
it was a great birthday amongst finals. Everyone was pretty stressed out, but everyone got to relax that night.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Fun. I remember I did that a couple times with friends it was freshman year especially. I don't know, we were like going all out for birthdays and everything. I guess we had some money back then.
There's something about moving out of the dorms where you don't do as much with those people. Like,
I'm an old lady now. I'm an old lady. I have a house.
Just, getting together gets a little harder because instead of walking down the hall, you have to walk maybe a couple blocks away to go.
True.
It's like, oh,
exactly.
that's a lot of work, you know? So, yeah, but that's super fun. That's really cool. God, I'm surprised. Well, I would say I'm surprised we didn't hear you, but then again, we were 4 floors away from each other. So.
If you did hear us, I'd be real worried.
I definitely heard the floor above us. That's for sure. But definitely not your floor. No, that would be interesting, though. Dang. That sounds... Yeah, honestly, I should have walked through. Dang. Oh, missed out. But that's okay. But that sounds like an awesome birthday. It was a great time. That's a sweet way to celebrate it, especially with people that, you've made friends with along the way. Like, that's super cool. That's always a good time. So I was interested when... Sarah told me that she had a guest, someone that's a film, FMA major. And I read a little bit more about the organization Temple Pilots. What exactly is that? Because I was super intrigued by it. I was like, wait, that's really cool. But I want to know more from an insider point of view. So could you just explain what that is a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So Temple Pilots is a show. We make one episode every year, from start to finish. We take ideas in the fall semester, beginning of the fall semester, September time. We out of that pool of applicants, we take people onto our team and we choose one idea and we say we're going to make this show, this pilot episode of a series, and we're going to bring it to life. So we bring on those people, we bring on that person, especially that whose idea it was, and we work with them to, from start to finish, make the episode and air it on live television for TUTV. We do everything from writing to casting, as Sarah knows, shooting on location, editing, all of the above we do. And we are really here just to not only get experience ourselves, but also help teach people and try and get people experience that they might not get in their everyday film classes.
Interesting. So it's just one episode every year.
Right.
Of a series that you guys create, but only for a pilot episode.
Right. So the hope is that making these pilot episodes kind of gives a basis and a jumping off point that if anything were to happen with the concept, this is where you could start from, and this is where you can launch off from, make something like a whole series out of.
Do you ever send these pilot episodes out to anyone beyond Temple, like just to see if anyone would pick up on it and just be like, hey, here's a great idea, here's a pilot to display for it? Or is it mainly just like a Temple-based thing where it's, mainly within the Temple community and doesn't really want to get too much outreach?
So we try to stay within the Temple community, at least for when we're getting everybody together. All of our cast, all of our crew is all Temple made. We're all Temple people. Are we opposed to furthering a show? Absolutely not. That's the point of it being a pilot episode, but we haven't necessarily gotten to that point yet. We're only in our third year as a club, so it's something we would like to explore in the future, but we're still kind of getting our footing. We do send the show out to some award shows. One that we won a Mid-Atlantic Emmy last year for one of our shows. So we are getting some recognition, which is very nice. But no, it's not something that we've fully explored yet.
I mean, that's still pretty cool that you got that nomination. Like that's.
Oh no,
that's like insane. Actually,
we're all very proud of it. And we're kind of it's something we're very proud of, but we're not satisfied with. It's kind of a motivating factor. It's like, all right, now we really gotta like up it because we know we could do this. We know we can do better, and that's like kind of the direction we're moving now.
Absolutely, that's the best mindset to have, especially with something like as intense as this, because to go from the beginning of a process to the end, like it's a very intense force that you have to go through. So I think the mindset of just now we just got to do better is just going to bring you to new heights. So that's awesome. That's really cool.
Right. That's what we're trying to not only like put into in terms of like our meetings, and like we meet 3 days a week, but in terms of like when we're working together and everything, it's like something we try to really push for everyone, but also for the product itself, so that our passion kind of shows through the project, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. So are you currently working on an episode now?
Yes. So as you mentioned, at the beginning, that episode Access Granted is actually what we're working on now. We'll be shooting soon, and hopefully it should be coming out sometime either over the summer or next semester. But that's what we're working on right now. We have our new team, which is very exciting, and we're working through doing everything in quarantine, which is a blessing.
So that actually leads directly into my next question. How has that been working in the conditions of like COVID restrictions? Like it must be hard to figure out time to meet up, or like making sure you're keeping safety precautions when you start to shoot. Like how has that been? Has that added more stress to the journey? Has it been an easy workaround? How's it been?
Obviously with everything going on with COVID, I'm sure you guys are well aware, nothing's easy. But we kind of expected there to be a challenge, and we were willing to get something done, and to get that thing done, we're really willing to do whatever we need to do. It has presented a lot of challenges in terms of how we're going to have proper social distancing on set, and getting PPE and stuff. But TUTV has been very helpful with making sure that amidst COVID, we can still shoot our show. And even if it's not as grand in terms of how many people we have on set and everything that we've done in the past, we're still gonna be able to make a quality product, and we're still gonna be able to get everyone experience that we want to give them through the club.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it sounds like you guys are doing a great job right now. It seems like you're making strides, and I wish nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you.
With that said, you're the head of production of the student organization, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
how has that impacted everything going on? Is that, or I guess the way I want to ask this is, what kind of responsibilities are brought up because of everything going on? And in general, like, what are the biggest responsibilities that you hold specifically for these episodes?
So, being head of production, the way that our club is structured, we have multiple department heads. So some of the stuff I'm specifically handling is stuff like locations, and in terms of like how we're setting up set itself and those floor plans and everything. We're really looking to try and I'm sorry, could you repeat the question again?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, what are the specific tasks that you have to endure when you're head of production, and then how much harder has it made being head of production? It's kind of similar to the last question, but I guess I'm more so talking about your role specifically as head of production.
Okay. So as head of production, like I said, I'm handling locations amongst other things. For those locations and stuff, we have to make sure that there's going to be enough room for people to social distance. We have to make sure that there's not a lot of cross-contamination and intermingling of people, so that there's not a lot of like possible spread. Obviously, everyone is going to be wearing proper PPE and stuff like that. So that's kind of been the biggest challenge, is like finding a space that we can still stylistically it fits what we want, but also we can still be safe in. That's one of the biggest challenges this year.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. I mean, hey, it sounds like if you have the plan, like, everything will work accordingly. So it sounds like you've got it under control. I'm super excited to see how it turns out. I guess this is more of like a personal question, because I have a roommate who is a film major. So he studies a lot about film, and he has a minor in history. So he likes, film history as well.
Okay.
And he's also big into the production side of film. So I'm always curious, because I get a lot of insight from him and telling me, how film production like is gone about and how like different things are made and created. What's the biggest difference between a film production than a TV production, like a TV series?
I would probably say the biggest that I've found is a film production is very it's very like self-sufficient, self-encased, where everything for that production, like once you're done, but you have a lot more legwork to do in terms of a television production for each episode. That there's something, it's like a revolving door of stuff, where it's not like the process is ever really done. You could be handling pre-production and post-production at the same time.
Gotcha. Okay, so film is like there's a finite like set in stone beginning and finish.
Right.
Where a film, it's always constantly moving.
Yeah.
Which I guess would make sense.
Right. TV. There's a little more gray area and overlap as to where the start and finish really is.
Right. Gotcha. But primarily the actual, contents of the production side within each, are they very similar, would you say?
Yes, I would say they're pretty similar. Obviously there's like some stuff is just shot differently. Like some stuff in TV is shot multi-camera and whatnot, as opposed to a lot of movies are shot single camera. So like that changes storyboarding and stuff like that.
Okay.
And floor plans, but it's little tweaking stuff that kind of just comes with depending on how you're shooting stuff, and it's all project to project based.
Gotcha. Okay, that's pretty neat actually. I didn't know that. For being behind the scenes a lot, have you ever decided to be on the other side and be the actor of any of these projects that, you've been a part of?
I've helped out with some stuff on screen. I'm personally not the best actor. I don't have the best acting ability, and I acknowledge that. So I've tried to stay behind the camera as much as possible.
Yeah, that's exactly how I was in high school.
Hey, you were a pretty great extra. You were a pretty great extra.
Oh,
for
thank you. I really
upstate.
know how to throw a dodgeball.
Some dodgeball.
Very cool. Very cool. So you're a content creation minor, correct?
Correct.
So what does that entail? Is that, I don't even want to try and ask. What does that entail? I don't even know. Like, I don't know.
The way that it's called content creation. But I mostly tell people that I'm an advertising minor because even though it is like, it does help with like the creation of content quite literally. A lot of the classes you take are advertising based. For instance, right now I'm taking intro to art direction and intro to copywriting.
Okay.
I'm taking intro to art direction.
Oh, are you really?
What? Yes. Oh my God.
We'll talk. But yeah, so it's a lot of like advertising stuff that actually my sister is in the advertising world, so it's a lot of stuff that she deals with. I've seen a lot of parallel. So that's really, to put it simply, it's essentially an advertising minor.
Okay, got it. Interesting. I feel like that is like probably the way to go, if that's the case.
I think it's a great route. It's like a good combination between like the more businessy side of things in terms of like content mixed with like the more logistical stuff that you'll need to do for film production and everything. So I think it's like this nice meet in the middle type of thing that you can connect them.
Okay, super cool, super cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I always personally have always said for any people that are like us, humans that are on the more creative side, or at least I like to think I'm on the more creative side. But, for the people that are like art majors or music majors or film majors, theater majors, however it be, I always had the mindset that having a little bit of business background, especially with the field that you're currently in, is always a really good thing to have as a tool to your own personal success, especially if you know how the industry is run and how you can work with the industry as a creator or as an artist. Like, it's always just better to have that kind of knowledge than to go in blind and not expect, the harsh realities that some of these industries provide.
Right. I completely agree. And also when you have that kind of that business background a little bit, because I mean, even though I do production on like an advertising minor, I still consider myself a very creative person. Like I mentioned before, like I mess around with music production, stuff like that. I'm a creative person as well. But creativity doesn't just stick within the realm of, oh, I write the script, I work with the camera, I'm on screen. You can be creative in business too. You can kind of apply that creative side to the business and that business side to the creative. It's interchangeable.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I like how you said that. You can apply the business to the creation, but you can also apply the creative side to the business. Right. I think that's a really good thing for anyone that's a creator to keep in mind. So I'm going to clip that. That's good. that's really good. So as a film major, I'm sure a question that you get asked all the time, and I'm going to get asked again, is what is your favorite movie?
Well, ignore the movie behind me here. I have 5 movie posters on my wall, and I don't know if I have a favorite movie. Whenever I get asked that question, I like to say it's like a parent being told to pick your favorite child. You're not really supposed to do it.
Right.
Do I have a couple favorite movies? Of course. And a couple of them are on my wall. They're not, you can't see them, but Inception's up there. Dark Knight is up there. Pulp Fiction's up there. Typical film major movie. Pulp Fiction's up there. But those are some of my favorites. Silence of the Lambs is also a fantastic movie. You haven't seen that movie. I've said. Highly recommend watching them. But those are probably some of my go-to picks, but I can't settle on one.
That's fair. That's really fair. That's like when people ask me what's your favorite band or artist right now, and I'm just like, it could be anyone.
I can't do that either.
Yeah, it's really hard because it changes like almost every day.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like my favorite like TV show, movie changes every single time I watch something new. I'm like, oh, this one's my favorite now.
I had a friend in high school who actually went into film at a different school, but when we were in high school, he was already really big into film, and he liked filming like his own independent projects and stuff like that. And we, I don't know if any of your high schools were like this, but in my high school, we were required to take a course that was called career development, which was all about trying to figure out what career path is right for you. It was literally an entire course on that, which I thought was really dumb, but I ended up having one of the best times in high school in that class because the teacher that me and my friend had didn't know what he was doing. So he was just kind of like, yeah, just like do this assignment and then you're good to go. So we were like, all right, cool. And there was one day where my friend was talking about how like he's really into film and he's thinking about pursuing that. And he had been asked the question of what's your favorite movie of all time, like all the time. And of course our teacher was like, okay, so if you're really into film, okay, what's your favorite movie of all time? And I could see like the wheels turning in my friend's head that he wasn't gonna say like an actual answer, and he was just like, "Oh, that's a really tough one. If I were to go with just one, I mean, I'd probably have to say Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roger Rules. I mean, that's just a masterpiece in my opinion." And I was literally peeing myself in the seat next to him because everyone else in the class didn't understand like he was joking around. Everyone was like, "What?" And I was just sitting there crying, laughing because I knew he was. Oh, damn it! I did it again. It's too bad. Yeah, I'll just bleep it out. I had to do it before already. Damn it! But yeah, I just knew he was messing with people, and so I love now asking people those kinds of questions to see if they do the same thing. But yeah, all the movie choices that you said are phenomenal. Like they are so just really good. So you have said a couple times that you're really into music, and for someone that is like majoring in a music major, I'm just curious, do you play any instruments?
I do actually. So I used to be much more musical. Unfortunately, other stuff has gotten away. When I was younger, I used to play guitar. I would play drums. I played saxophone and violin. Now I only play guitar. But I still consider myself pretty musical, even though I don't play piano. I have a keyboard that I like to mess around with and whatnot, as a lot of people do from time to time. I like to sing, even though I'm not good at it.
That's totally fair. I feel that.
You know, just because I do it in the shower doesn't mean everyone has to hear it, but I still do it.
Fair.
But yeah, that's pretty much the extent of it. I like to mess around like with a lot of different sounds, but the main instrument I say I play is guitar.
Very cool, very cool. Do you have a specific guitar brand that you like?
I do and I don't. My dad is also a big guitar person, so we've always been kind of like a Les Paul guitar family, but we have different kinds. We have all kinds of guitars, so it's not really like we're dedicated to, but that's where we usually stay.
Very cool. They're beautiful guitars. Yeah. I love them. They're so nice. I'm a guitar player myself, so that's the only reason why I'm asking. I love guitars. They're so fun. And they're a big money pit, but I love them.
Oh, they are, but it can be worth it.
Yeah, exactly. It's all good. They can totally be worth it. I just had to sell a guitar recently, and that was a very, very hard departure for me.
That's the worst.
Yeah, it's okay, though. It's probably in a better home, and I needed the money, so it's all good. It happens. It's fine. I still have other ones I can play with, I guess. So
make do it,
You make do with what you have, exactly. Yeah. Yes, with that said, I think we're ready to hop right into our game. So, the way that this game works is that it is this or that. Basically, we give you two things that you need to pick between. You can explain your reasoning, but the problem is you only have 60 seconds. So, some of these are a little harder than others. So, you got to think pretty quickly to get it. I think we've had 5 people finish it in 60 seconds.
We always say that we're going to keep track, but then we never do. Let's go with 5. Let's go with 5.
We'll go with 5. We've had 14 episodes, this being our 15th one, and I think 5 people have been able to do it.
Okay,
so
pressure.
You can join that list, but only time will tell. I believe there's roughly like 12 questions. It's pretty consistent through other episodes where I think it's been about 12. And this one is no different. So Sarah will take reins on asking the questions, and I will keep track of the timer. So, if you don't know, our finale song for when the timer goes out is By the Seaside. It is a cult classic amongst Apple fans. And if you don't know it, you might get the pleasure of hearing it. But if you can answer the questions quickly, you don't have to. So, with that said, is everyone ready?
Yeah. Do it.
All right, sweet. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Wawa or 7-Eleven?
Wawa.
Saxby's or Richie's?
Richie's.
Maxis or Philly style?
Maxis. Gotta do it.
The Sack or food trucks?
Oh, food trucks. 100.
J or H?
H.
Charles or Paley?
Charles.
Netflix or Hulu?
I would usually say Netflix, but recently I've been on Hulu a lot. I can't even lie. Gotta go Hulu.
Coffee or tea?
Tea. Coffee's not it for me. Tea, 100%. Green tea. Green tea's it. Green tea and chai.
Football or basketball?
Basketball. Go Lakers.
Savory or sweet?
Give me sweet.
TV or film?
Film.
Drama or comedy?
Drama.
Philly or New York?
Philly.
Directing or producing?
Producing.
Oh, we had one more. We had one more.
I'm so close.
Last question. I mean, you could have passed on it, but my last question was upstaged or strays.
Oh, don't do that to me.
I always have to do one super duper hard one.
I don't know if they'll ever see this, but Tyler and Matt from Strays. I'm sorry, but upstage.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make sure that those two people watch this episode.
We'll email it to them.
I don't know if you saw my reaction to the football or basketball question, but you said basketball, which I like the sport basketball more, but I like watching football more. And you said basketball, and I was like, nice. And then you said go Lakers, and I was like, what?
I'm a huge Lakers fan. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. He was the one who actually the first basketball game I ever saw was a Lakers game. I think it was 2007 or so. He scored over 50 points, and I was just watching.
Wow,
like, this man's on a different level.
Yeah.
And I just became a Kobe fan, and in turn became a Lakers fan. So I've been a Lakers fan ever since.
Fair enough. Because I will say
That's
I'm a Kobe
awesome.
fan. Lakers fan, debatable. Kobe fan, very much so.
Repeat championship this year coming up.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see. But But you know what, Anthony, thank you so much for being on. This has been a blast. I've had a blast getting to know you and a little bit more about what you do. You've made the whole film side of things just way more interesting for me, where now I want to check out all these pilot episodes that you have done at Temple Pilots. I want to jam with you. You're a guitarist, and I love guitarists, so let's do it. We'll figure out a time and place. But seriously, it's been a blast talking to you, my man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. As always, I'd like to thank Sarah. Without her, we would not be able to do any of this because she's really the backbone of everything we do. So, Sarah, thank you so much.
Ciao, Sarah.
Thank you, guys. This was so much fun.
And with that said, if you would like to stay up to date with anything CPCA advising related, you can follow us on all of our socials. It's just at CPCA_advising. That's where you'll keep up to date with anything advising related or with Backstage Pass podcast related thing. Yes. So if you'd like to stay in touch, please follow our accounts. With that said, thank you so much. We will see you all next week. Enjoy your weekends. Enjoy your days. Have fun. Go outside. It's starting to get a little warmer, which is kind of nice. So enjoy yourselves. We will see you next week.